Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jacqui and today we're doing Yin Yoga to help release any tightness and stress around the hips. I find that Yin Yoga is a really great way to access our deeper flexibility and also as a way to open up and release any stored up stress and tension in the body. If you are new to Yin Yoga, let me just give you a brief intro because I know it can be a little bit shocking to come to a Yin Yoga class and not know anything about it at all. This was definitely my first experience with Yin. So, Yin is a very slow and passive form of yoga where we hold poses in stillness anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes long. And through stillness, gravity, and time, our body opens up and allows us to come deeper into the pose. Yin is also practiced cold, so not after a sweaty yoga practice or a workout where you'd be stretching the muscles. We work deep into the connective tissues that surround the muscles, so we're able to open up the body in a more holistic way. And I love to practice Yin with the lights dim, maybe a couple of candles lit, and some nice calming music. So go ahead and set that up for yourself if you like. I find it helps me to get into a more meditative state where I can enjoy the holds much more. And for Yin, we also love to use props. So for today's practice, it'd be great if you have a set of anything. It could be two blocks, it could be two books, it could be two cushions or pillows, blankets, whatever you have around the house. And before we get started, I would love for you to join my community by subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I upload a new yoga video. All right, so go ahead and set up the space however you'd like, and we'll meet back here on the mat. Let's start off today by coming onto our backs. Just have your props nearby because you might be needing them. And just take your time to come onto your back. And we'll be bringing our legs into butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop out to the sides. So if your knees are quite far off the ground or you'd like some extra support, you can take your props, whatever they are, and place them underneath the knees to support yourself. And you don't want to come into 100% of your full flexibility just yet because we will be staying here for quite a while, and you want to allow your body to ease into each of these poses. So just find the most comfortable position for you. Maybe you want to place your hands on top of your belly as well, and we'll just close down our eyes to arrive on our mat today. And try to feel all parts of your body in contact with the earth beneath you. And just take a few breaths to allow all the distractions around you to fade into the background. And then bringing the focus to the breath. Taking nice deep breaths in through the nose. And long, slow breaths out through your nose or mouth. See if you can clear your mind and really bring your focus to the breath. Allowing yourself to stay in the present moment. And think about controlling your breath as it comes out. Let it be nice and even and steady. Try not to let it all out in one go. When we can lengthen our exhale, it helps us to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system. So this is the system in the body that is responsible for our rest and digest response. This is when we feel completely at ease, calm, and our body is working in its optimal form. So the Circulation is running to all your internal organs. You feel calm and relaxed. And just allow all your muscles to let go, noticing if you're gripping onto any muscles anywhere. And see with every long exhale if you can allow yourself to release a little bit more. Allow your knees to sink down into your prop. Allow any tension anywhere else in your body to release and let go. When we can take these nice, long, controlled exhales, we're telling our body that it's okay to relax, release, that it's safe. Let's stay here for another 5 long, slow, deep breaths. Last 2 breaths here. And on the next breath, very gently and slowly opening up the eyes. Take your hands down towards your knees and just help them up together. Move it as slowly and mindfully as you need to. And then let's roll over onto our left side. You can move your props out of the way. Just curl up into a ball and just take a moment here. Maybe just noticing how your hips are feeling. In Yin, we always take a bit of time after each pose just to feel how it feels on the body and on the mind. All right, on the next breath, let's make our way to all fours. Again, just moving very slowly and mindfully. And let's bring our props to the top of the mat. And making our way to all fours. Let's bring the left knee and step it on the outside of the left hand. And then just drop the hips down, coming into our dragon pose. Now you can stay up here on your hands or bring your hands up to your thighs, or you can use your props to support your head or your elbows. So if you have your blocks or even your cushion, you might place them up high and rest your elbows down. Or if your body is allowing you to, you might come all the way down onto the elbows and then use the block to support your head. So you can get creative with how to use these props in your practice. There is no right or wrong way to use them. Just do whatever works for you. So find the first point of resistance in your body. So that is the first point where you feel a slight stretch anywhere in your body. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the hips. It just depends where you're most tight. It could be in your lower back, in the shoulders. So come to that first point and we'll come to stillness. You might want to close down your eyes. Take your deep breaths here. Try to stay as still as you can. The more still that we can be, the easier it is to get into the deep connective tissues. Whenever we make any movements, our body basically has to reset itself and we start again from the beginning. So try to stay with your breath in stillness. See if you can send the energy of your breath down to the areas that feel tight for you. And with every breath out, see if you can release a little bit more. I know this pose can be quite intense. Just try to stay with it, stay with your breath. I'll take 5 more breaths here, nice and slow. If at any time you feel your body has opened up, maybe you move your prop a little bit on the lower side or even out of the way altogether, just depending on how your body is feeling. Otherwise, stay where you are, it's totally fine. Last breath here. And on the next breath, wherever you are, lift your head up, come back onto your hands, and make your way back to a downward facing dog. Just going as slow as you need to, and just take a moment here, do whatever you need to for your hips. Notice how the stretch feels on your right side of your body. And whenever you're ready on the next breath, let's come back down onto all fours, untuck the toes, and bring the right foot on the outside of the right hand. So coming onto dragon pose on this side. Let the hips sink down, and just notice that this side might be quite different to the first side. So again, come to that first point of resistance wherever it may be on this side. Maybe your hands are up on your knees. Maybe the hands are on the inside of the right foot. Maybe you're coming down onto elbows on your prop. Maybe you're using the prop to support the head. We'll hold for 3 minutes here. Try to focus on your breath to stay present. And if you are particularly new to Yin, and even if you're not, you might find certain emotions or thoughts come up, especially in the poses that feel a little bit more intense for you. You might start to have panicky thoughts about when can I get out of this pose, or I can't. Try to move past that with your breath. Slow down the breathing to a point where you feel calm. And if that's not working, maybe it's that you need to pull back a little bit on your pose so it's not quite as intense for you. Remember that these long exhales help us to feel calm and relaxed in any pose. And when we can use this breath to feel calm and relaxed, our body naturally opens up and allows us to go a little bit deeper. So really bring your focus to that breath. We'll take 5 more breaths here on this side. See if you can allow yourself to relax a little bit more with every breath out. One last breath here. And on the next breath, wherever you are, let's make our way very slowly back to our downward facing dog. Take all the time you need to get there. Again, just move your hips however you need to. Notice how they're feeling now that we've stretched out on both sides. And whenever you're ready, let's make our way to a seated position, stretching our legs out in front of us. Coming into our caterpillar pose. So this is unlike the active version of this pose where we're pressing down with the backs of the legs. Allow the knees to be nice and soft. Bring your hands forward and just walk them forward as far as your first point of resistance. And here you might want to place your block in between the legs to support your head. Or if you have a cushion or a bolster, you might place them on top of your thighs to support your belly and your chest coming forward. So again, we'll stay here for 3 minutes. Allow your legs to be nice and loose. Allow the belly and the chest to soften. Let your head melt down towards your knees. Bring the focus to the breath. Take note if you're holding on to any muscles anywhere. It might be that it takes you a few breaths to find out if you are gripping, and another few breaths to figure out how to let go. Just take your time and try to stay as still as possible. Keep focusing on the breath. We'll take 5 more breaths here. If you feel that your body has opened up, maybe you want to come a little bit further down by moving your props away or on a lower edge. Last 5 breaths. Try to stay with it as best as you can. And on the next breath, very slowly and gently lift up the head. Walk your hands back towards your body and just place them behind you on the mat. Gently rock your legs from side to side. You might notice a slight tingling sensation through your legs, and that's just the blood and oxygen circulation running back down your legs. So what we're doing in these poses is basically compressing those areas, and when we release, we get this nice surge of fresh oxygen and circulation to that area. All right, let's come back up and make our way coming into our fire log position. So we've got the right leg in an L shape in front of us, And then we're going to stack the left leg on top. So the left ankle comes towards the right knee, and the left knee is on top of the right ankle. If this is too much for you, you might use your props to support you. So you might have one prop underneath the right knee and the other one in between the left knee and the right ankle at whichever height. If that is still too much, you'll just come into a cross-legged position. So take the variation that suits you, use the props that you need to. Maybe you stay up high, maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you take your hands forward and walk all the way down. Again, we'll stay here for 3 minutes. Try to find that first point of resistance and focus on the breath. Part of the yin practice also is to be comfortable with mild discomfort. So not exactly all these poses are 100% comfortable, and it's trying to make the discomfort more comfortable through breathing, through letting go, through relaxing and telling your body it's safe and okay to let go. When we have any fear or panicky thoughts, our body tenses up, our muscles tense up, and it stops us from going deeper into the connective tissues. So when we can allow ourselves to let go, that's when the magic happens. That's where we can get further into our flexibility and our mobility. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Remember, keep them nice, even, steady, and slow. And on the next breath, wherever you are, slowly lifting up the head, walking yourself back up all the way and using your hands to help your leg up off the other one. Let's bring them wide and bring the hands behind you, and then just drop the knees over to one side and then to the other. So again, you might feel a little bit of a tingling sensation. I know I did in that one. And this is a feeling that a lot of yin yogis get addicted to, is that release after a stretch. So it might be something that you have to learn to love. But the more you do yin, the more you'll see the benefits and the effects on your body, your flexibility, your mobility. And the more you become addicted to it in some way. All right, let's come to the other side. So left leg this time on the bottom, right leg stacked on top in your fire log pose. Again, if this is too much, even with your props, you're going to come into your cross-legged position, but cross the other way. So it could be the unnatural way for you. If you're using your props, again, you could place one underneath the left knee and one in between the knee and the ankle. So come to that pose, the position that feels most comfortable for you. You should only be feeling a mild discomfort. So wherever you are, maybe you walk your hands forward, all the way down, or you're staying all the way up. We'll hold for 3 minutes. You should be getting a nice stretch through your right glute muscle in this fire log position. Again, try to notice if there is any particular part of your body that you are gripping onto any tension, any part of yourself that feels fear, and try to breathe it out. Send the energy of your breath into those areas that feel tight, into those areas that feel fear. See if you can let it go with every breath out. Tell your body it's okay, it's safe where you are. You can let go. Give yourself the permission to let go. And try to stay as still as possible. Let's hold for another couple of breaths here. And on the next breath in, very slowly lifting up through the head and walking the hands back towards your body, taking the hands behind you, taking your hands onto your legs, lifting that leg off, bring the legs wide, and then take your hands behind you. And then drop the knees from one side to the other. We always want to move slowly and very mindfully as we come out of these poses because we've stayed in them for quite a long time. We don't want any sudden jarring movements. All right, let's come to one of our last poses, into our straddle. So bringing our legs into a V shape, doesn't matter how wide it is. And this time you should be feeling it on the inside of the legs. So let's take the hands forward. Legs are nice and soft, they don't have to be active. This is not the practice of yin. We want everything to be passive. So then walking the hands forward, maybe taking the block or your prop, whatever it is, to support your elbows or your head at whichever height. Maybe even if you have a cushion, you want to place it underneath your belly for extra support there. So again, 3 minutes in this pose. Come to that first point where you feel a slight stretch anywhere in the body. Do not come to 100% of your full flexibility at this point. Gravity is going to help us open up. Gravity, time, and stillness, the three main factors of our yin practice. And this pose is a very intense pose for a lot of people. So just be careful, observe your body, And notice if you are taking it too far at this point. If you have, just bring it back slightly. Pull back on the stretch. And once your body has opened up, you can come down a little bit further. Take your focus to your breath. Notice if you've allowed your breath to become short, if you've allowed your exhale to release all in one go. If so, just remind yourself to control the out breath. Maybe you try to make the exhale longer than the inhale. You're doing really well. Let's take 5 more breaths here. If you do feel your body has opened up, you can come down further into the pose. Otherwise, stay where you are. It's perfectly fine wherever you are. All right, nice job. Let's slowly lift up to the head and use your hands. Walk yourself back towards the center of your body. Bring your hands underneath your knees and just help them to come up. Again, very slowly here. Bring them together. Give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe rest your forehead on your knees. Just take a moment here. Notice how your body feels. Notice any particular thoughts and emotions that come up now that we're out of this pose. And then very slowly, let's make our way to our final pose, our Shavasana pose. We'll come onto our backs. And we'll come with the feet wide on the outside edges of the mat. And then drop the knees into the center so they're knocking against each other. Hands down to either side or on your belly. This is a nice internal rotation of the hips after all the external rotation that we've been doing. If you want to feel this a little bit deeper, walk the feet out a little bit wider. Close down the eyes. Again, we'll take 3 minutes here, or even longer if you wish. Nice deep breaths. Notice all the parts of your body that are in contact with the earth beneath you, and see if you can melt down a little bit further. Allow your chest to soften. Allow your belly to soften. Allow all the tension in your body to melt out of your body. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Now you're welcome to come out and come into a seated position, or you can stay here for even longer. I want to thank you for joining me in practice today. I hope you enjoyed this Yin Yoga practice. I would love to know how you're feeling after this. And if this was your first time or you're still new to Yin Yoga, I would love to know what you think of it. So please feel free to leave me a comment below or ask me any questions that you might have. I'll see you on the mat next time. Namaste.